Hi, and welcome to Screens in Focus podcast, where we share and connect as we spotlight our favorite shows and movies. I'm Diana.
And I'm Brooke.
And this is episode 36. Today, we will be discussing The Walking Dead, Season 9, Episodes 13 and 14, with the theme of confrontation. And also, we'll be talking about the movies Ben is Back, Triple Frontier, and Green Book. Before we dive in, how are you doing today, Brooke?
I'm doing really well, Diana. How about you?
I'm doing awesome.
Great.
Yeah, I had my improv last night and it went really well and it was awesome. It was our final performance for a little bit. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, this weekend we went to a wedding in downtown San Jose and it was so much fun. And I got to get dressed up, do my makeup, get some, do my hair. So the husband and I, we had a good time. Lots of family.
Yeah, that's always nice.
I love weddings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's
awesome.
Nice.
Thank you.
Sounds good. So I was thinking.
Yes.
How far would you go to protect your family in an apocalypse?
Well, being that you ask, I'm always thinking about that. I would go extremely far. I would do anything to protect my family. So I'd have to say, if I were confronted by a threat, I would go the extra mile and do what I could to protect and survive.
Yeah.
How about you?
I think I would too. I don't know. It's like, what would you do?
Yeah.
Would you take things out of the hands of other people to feed your family?
Oh, that's so hard.
Right, because I don't think I ever would.
Yeah, I'm such a moral person when it
me
comes
too.
That would be a really hard decision. But I do think that if someone were to try to take something from me,
right, yeah,
I would defend for sure. I would go, that extra mile.
Yeah.
And I would hope to have those skills instilled with my family. Mm-hmm. I want them to know how to defend and protect themselves as well.
Yes.
And, I feel like as a mother, and you probably relate, you want your kid to grow up knowing how to protect themselves. So we teach them, in just our society, but in the apocalyptic world, that would be a whole nother level of defense and protect.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't like to think that I would be that person to take,
Of course. I don't think that would be me either, but it's like, if you were put in that position and you had 2 last bars of something and everybody's starving, would you divvy it up and share with other people and families, or would you give it on the slide to your kid? I don't know. That's so hard.
Yeah. Hopefully, if we were with other groups, with survivalists, where the adults, we're all on the same page. I think that I would hope that I would take care of all the children.
Yes,
and then us parents would be responsible enough to.
Yeah.
But apparently, it isn't always like that. I
know.
So,
and we had talked about being around fruit trees, right? Because we need to be where there's. We wouldn't have to fight over food, hopefully, if we were near things that were growing.
Right.
If we could get, apples or oranges or whatever it is.
I was thinking mangoes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think of the Jungle Book and mangoes.
Just give me anything.
Yes.
Anything.
I would love that.
So, yeah.
Good question.
So, let's pose this to our listeners.
Yes.
What would you do in a apocalypse? I was going to say zombie apocalypse, but it could be any kind of apocalypse.
Yeah.
Please let us know on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Just go to our webpage and list it in our web notes, and you can find us there.
Yes.
Let us know.
And now for our recaps.
Season 9, Episodes 13, Choke Point. I have to say, this was an exciting episode. Daryl, Connie, Henry, and Lydia flee the Whisperers, but Beta is on their tail. Connie leads them to a building she has stayed at before to set up an ambush for Beta. While they wait for his arrival, Henry and Lydia share a kiss. A horde of walkers arrive at the choke point with Beta, who makes his way into the building. Daryl and Beta have a one-on-one action-filled fight, leaving Beta defeated. Yes. Meanwhile, at the kingdom, Jerry delivers a letter to Ezekiel and Carol that a new group, the Highwaymen, are demanding payment or they won't let them pass to the fair. Ezekiel rounds up his troops, heads to the Highwaymen camp, and is ready for battle. But Carol proposes another plan, and it works.
Season 9, Episode 14, Scars. Michonne and Judith are at crossroads with each other's views and opinions about the safety of their friends. Judith wants to go find her friends Daryl, Henry, Connie, and Lydia on their journey back to the kingdom. Michonne realizes that Judith is gone. Michonne goes after Judith and comes across a field of walkers and kills them all with her katana, which brings her to the flashback of how she got the scar. Pregnant Michonne runs into a friend that she knew from her childhood. Her friend Jocelyn was with a group of children, and after she and Michonne reunite, Jocelyn robs Alexandria's infirmary, food store, and the children, including Judith. Pregnant Michonne and Daryl went looking for them, and they get knocked out and gagged. They are restrained and branded by the Children of the Corn. Eventually, they get free and look for Judith. Michonne ends up fighting Jocelyn, killing her and her children. Otherwise, she could have been killed and lost Judith. She did what she had to do, a mother defending her child. Hey, Diana.
Yeah.
I was wondering, for the theme today, confrontation, where did you see any of that in these episodes?
I saw it definitely with Daryl and Beta's confrontation. I mean, it is huge. It is the biggest fight scene ever done on The Walking Dead. These characters match in intensity, and Beta is skillful and a good strategist, which makes it an even match. And even though Beta towers over Daryl and has brute strength, I think Daryl is quick and able to maneuver around this big guy, and Daryl treats him like a treat. And I heard him say that. And wants to chop him down, which is perfect because once he does, it pushes him over and he goes down the elevator shaft. Even so, Beta survives, I can't believe it, and gets up and pulls a knife out of his chest. I mean, what is he, superhuman? Unfortunately, Beta will hunt Daryl at this point.
Yep, that's scary.
Yeah.
Because he's probably so mad. I mean, he looked like you said, a superhuman. He kind of looked like a creature to me. Just like, how do you survive that?
Yeah,
you know?
like alien or not alien, but
well, I mean, kind of
somebody from alien, somebody from another.
Yeah. I was like, wait, this is
didn't that hurt?
Yeah, and then just the way that he looks up, he's like,
I know, and he's not even hurt after falling all those.
Just oh,
it's crazy.
No broken bones. You know, he's like, ugh. I don't know.
I know that fight was scary. And even when he put Daryl's neck on that saw blade. And,
yes.
But thank God, I mean, I love Daryl because he's so resourceful.
Yeah.
And he gets his knife and stabs him. So.
Well, he's got a lot of experience.
Yeah.
So.
And they're both so strategic. You know,
Correct.
when Beta comes through with the door to defend himself like a shield.
Right.
But then Daryl gets underneath those floorboards.
Yes.
And hides there.
Good thing good thing that was a part of a resource too.
Right.
You know, where Connie had all the
supplies from
supplies. So,
yeah.
and he was able to see her pull that apart.
Right,
so
right.
he was like, oh.
Yeah, I'm going to use this.
Exactly.
I know, he's so smart.
Yeah.
What about you? Where did you see confrontation?
Well, confrontation was definitely, I felt like this was, part of the awakening, a realization with Daryl and Connie. So Daryl doesn't trust Lydia, and Connie confronts Daryl, and she insists that Lydia stays with them. Daryl tells Connie that if Lydia does stay, their friends will die. And Connie responds to Daryl, at least we have friends, because Lydia doesn't. She has no one nor anything, really. So she might as well stay with them, be part of their group, and, just be accepted, trust, and take her in. So I appreciate the fact that Connie, as tiny as she is and as silent as she is, she's got a big voice.
Yeah.
And she's not afraid to use it.
Yeah.
With kind of an intimidating guy. He's very standoffish. He doesn't seem as approachable or maybe understanding or reasoning, but she was able to grasp his attention when they went to go look for Henry. And so they've just been partners ever since.
Yeah.
And so she feels very comfortable to talk to him about it and confront him.
I love how you said she has a big voice when she has no physical voice, but something about her he listens to.
Yes. Oh,
which is so, it's so awesome. Like he just, I just love it. I love their chemistry and it's really working.
I know.
And we had talked about how he really sees her and has to look at her in order to communicate with her. So I think that's creating that relationship between them too.
He respects her, you know.
He does.
He really, really does.
Well, because she is smart and she is resourceful and she is also tactical and everything else that, yes, he totally respects that of her. So he's like, hey, she's kind of cool. I like her.
I think he's honestly as distant as Daryl can be. And as, I know a lot of the fans really wanted him to be with Carol.
Yeah.
I think he might be falling in love.
I know.
So it's funny when you say that he has to look at her when he talks to her because she reads lips, and I know that can be, for me, it's kind of a drag to have to look at somebody every time they talk. For example, my children, when they're like, "Mom," and I'm like preoccupied. I'm like, "Yes, just tell me what it is," but they don't tell me until I look at them. That can get really exhausting. So I commend him for taking that time, having that patience, and communicating with her.
Yeah.
Where else did you see confrontation?
Oh, most definitely with Michonne, because she has to confront her past. So finally, we get to see where these scars came from, and we've been dying to know what Michonne and Daryl have been through together, and we see it through this episode, and I thought it was done so well. And I loved how the story weaved the past together with the present day. We get to see how far Michonne goes to protect her children and how Judith helps her heal. I loved how they incorporated the flashbacks, and I appreciated when Michonne was in the battle with the kids that she swung her sword and it would match up with present day when fighting off the walkers. And it showed her decapitating these walkers instead of the kids.
Yes.
And I felt so bad for her because she tried so hard to save these lost, brainwashed kids, but it was just too late, except for Winnie, who I'm not sure if it's a boy or a girl. But and will they show up again? I mean, he just ran off.
Yeah.
So I'm just really curious if he will show up again. And I also really liked the exchange that Negan and Michonne had about Judith. I think it was super instrumental in changing Michonne's mind.
Yes, I think so too. And I'm glad that they were able to, she can have that moment with him, because I felt like that really helped her process the confrontation where she opening up to Judith.
Yeah.
And so, Judith really wants her mom to let in new people. And Michonne has her reasons why she does not agree with her daughter. In order for Judith's voice to be heard, she takes matters into her own hands and leaves Alexandria. When Michonne went after her, Judith runs into trouble, requires her mom's help, and Judith confronts her mom and questions why they stopped loving Daryl, Aunt Maggie, Carol, and the King. And Judith's heart is so big, and most importantly, her honor and her loyalty to her adopted family. She loves them. She doesn't want to turn her back on the people she loves, but needs her mom's support, and she has the strength to talk about it as a little child. And even when her mom didn't think she was ready to understand, being that she is a child, Daryl definitely had Judith's back and told her she's more than that.
I know.
So that was another really strong confrontation that I saw. Mother-daughter relationship that was so important.
It was
for
so important.
Judith as well as Michonne to face all of this. And it opens us up to why she does not want to let new people in. Why she was, she had that council meeting with Father Gabriel about the radio tower, and no, that means Alexandria survives, and so why was she being so closed off? Now we know.
Yeah, now it makes
so we
makes
have
sense.
the answers that we were looking for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And they were good ones. I mean,
Yeah.
it really validated why she was. I mean, yes, maybe she shouldn't have been that way, but it just totally makes sense. And I don't fault her for that because she was really wanted the safety of her family, and nothing was more important.
Yeah. And Jocelyn, like, okay, I've known you for 15 years, even prior the apocalypse. And because she recognized her, she knew her from back then, she's different. She's changed. She's not the same person. So opening up those doors to somebody that she knew, you can't forget that this is a new world.
And I love that when she was talking to Daryl and saying, how could I not see it? How could I not? Because you start to blame yourself when things go wrong.
Right.
And he's all, because she's evil and you're not evil.
Yep.
That was in her heart, not yours. And so that's why you couldn't recognize it. Oh,
right.
So good.
Yes. So
it was really a good episode.
I loved it. It was so powerful.
Yeah.
Hey, Diana.
Yeah.
Were there anything else that you noticed in these episodes?
Yes. So I was super excited after seeing episode 13 with the epic battle between Beta and Daryl, but then came along episode 14 with Michonne and her journey with Daryl and Judith, and it was even better than episode 13. And I count it up there as one of the best episodes, along with episode A, which is in season 4, episode 16, and that's the one where Rick bites that marauder's neck after them attempting to rape Carl and kill Michonne and all of that. And then, that moment between him and Daryl was so awesome. But you're my brother. And then Too Far Gone, season 4, episode 8. And that was when Herschel gets killed by the governor. And then The Grove, season 4, episode 14, which was where Carol kills Lizzie. Look at the flowers.
Yes, that episode.
Yes. And then season 9, episode 5, What Comes After, which is, of course, when Rick's last episode and where he sees Herschel and Shane and Sasha. I just love that episode. And then that's where we see the time jump with Judith. And I just thought that was like one of the big twists that I absolutely love. So those are my favorite episodes. So it's been really good. Season 9 has been so good.
Right.
So I'm really excited. And also, other things I noticed was the song called Souvenir by Boy Genius that played while pregnant Michonne looked for Rick and she finds his gun. And I checked out that song and I really love it. And you should check that out if you get the chance. It's a 3-girl band and the song is just really good. And it's funny because I was also reading how people were dogging on Lori, even though she's been gone since season 3.
Right.
Because, here Michonne is pregnant and looking for Rick, any signs of Rick. And then even with the time jump, she's still looking for Rick.
Right.
And Lori was with Shane like within 7 days.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she didn't even leave him a note.
Right.
At the hospital, like, hey, babe, I'm heading out. Come find me.
Or at home, because he went home.
Yeah.
If he were to get,
you know
just
what?
something.
Even that. Yeah.
That part was
I mean, I think that's why everybody was so mad. Poor Lori, actress in real life, because.
Yeah, her character.
Yeah.
Sleazy.
It's like, what? What's up with you? And also, Carol. With her vulnerability with the highwayman, she is like a chameleon. She's pragmatic. She negotiates and sizes people up. And she will be whomever she needs to be or whatever the situation calls for. And she doesn't always look for violence unless it's necessary. And I love that on The Walking Dead that she had said if none of that works, then she'll just set them on fire. And then Judith and Daryl, their talk there on the dock was, first of all, the setting was awesome.
Yeah.
And then I like that she asks him, what would my dad do?
Yep.
And She goes, yeah, I thought so. Mm-hmm. So she knew the answer to that. She's just such a smart cookie.
She is.
And then Tammy, when she put that baby in the chest.
Yep.
Which I thought was a great idea.
Yep.
It was ingenious.
Yes.
Because you got to take that baby wherever you go.
You do.
So
Bubble baby.
And keep it away. I know. Huh? Keep it away from the walkers and everything else.
And
keeping it safe.
I love that. All the little details. Mm-hmm. And that was just, it's part of what I love about The Walking Dead.
So what other things did you notice?
Well, I noticed that Michonne was lost and scared after losing Rick and Carl. And she admitted to Judith that she was even more lost when she lost Judith, and so that was really hard for her to go through. And she and Alexandria decided to only take care of people of their community because of losing Judith to her friend Jocelyn and those other children. And she realized that it wasn't a good thing to let people in after all. And doing what she had to do to keep Judith safe, she did it for her family, and her family is Alexandria. She did it for the community, even though it's not what Rick or Carl would have done or wanted for Alexandria. They wanted Alexandria to grow at some point, and obviously they kept Negan alive for a reason. And I feel like she has something to do with, that might have something to do with the falling out with Maggie.
Yeah.
And not letting people in, because they still haven't really touched up on that.
Not yet.
And I think they're going to touch up with at the fair, because Michonne's supposed to be going to the trade fair. Mm-hmm. So maybe they'll open up some more doors for us.
Right.
Daryl and Michonne also seem to share the similar trust issues by not letting new people in. Mm-hmm. And Daryl, we saw that Connie opened up his eyes to letting Lydia in, and that must be something that Connie is capable of doing to enlighten Daryl at this point,
right.
Just the same as Judith has done for Michonne.
Yeah.
So Daryl seems to have grown from this experience particularly, and moving forward with the fair, and we'll just see what happens with Lydia and Daryl and seeing if he opens up.
I think thinking back, I mean, they're all on their journey, right? Because even Rick had moments of when he didn't trust people and he kept people out, and then he would trust people and he'd let people in, and then he'd get burned somehow. And so right now it's just Michonne's time.
Which is so interesting that Daryl has those feelings, because he was telling Lydia while she was imprisoned that they're trying to build a new world. Mm-hmm. But you gotta be careful who you let in. So it's a little bit contradictory, actually, now that I'm thinking about that part of time. So how do you build if you don't trust?
But then it's hard because if you do trust, you get killed, or your friends get killed. So you have to be able to read people too.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I think Michonne was so devastated with what she had gone through, because she was trusting. Look, see, she was trusting, and look what happened to her. Yeah. And that's why she backed off. So, I mean, it's so hard in this world.
Yeah. I love how in the beginning seasons, how many walkers have you killed? How many people have you killed?
Oh, yeah. The three questions. Yeah.
So now it's gotten to this point where I'm like, oh, I don't know. We really have to have a protocol for trust.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's what they're doing. They're trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Well, because everybody is just like coming up with their own world intermixed. And so, it's kind of crazy.
But I love that Michonne is open to at least listening. I mean, she had her plan, she followed it, but she's not totally closed off like, I'm not going to listen to anybody. I'm just going to do what I want to do and keep everybody safe and not worry about anything else. But she's listening to Judith and Daryl.
Right. Yeah.
And Negan.
Right. So that's good. Well, she almost lost her daughter.
Exactly.
So she had to, like, she realized something,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, like, think about today's society. Like, you almost lose your kid, like, but you want to lock him up even more, you know? And she actually was like, oh, you know, when Daryl touched her shoulder and she's like, well, she's just a kid. And he's like, well, she's more than just that. Mm-hmm. So she, you know, she's, you know, being coached by Daryl, by Negan, and by the whole experience revisiting the past.
Yeah.
Something else that I noticed was I absolutely love this part when Daryl interrupted Henry and Lydia's kiss. In the choke point. That was hilarious when they're just, you know, all in their secret world together and Daryl responds, hey, let's go.
Well, I think at that point he still didn't know how much he trusted Lydia and didn't want Henry to get so caught up and absorbed in that and wanted to pull that back a little bit.
Teenagers.
Yeah.
I also really love the Highwaymen. I'm so excited to get to know these characters. I loved it when they came in on their horses and helped Hilltop with the tree. That was victorious for me. And I hope that I see more of the Highwaymen in a good place.
Yeah.
So that is what I noticed.
Those are good things.
Thank you. Hey, Diana.
Yes, Brooke.
I was wondering, why do you love The Walking Dead?
I love The Walking Dead because it thrills me. I get scared, upset. The characters move me. I love Judith and the actress that plays her. She is so amazing. Kaylee Fleming.
She's awesome.
Yes, she is.
She's such a great attribute to this season.
She is.
You
I don't know how they found her.
Yeah. Well,
thank goodness.
I'm just glad that, I mean, I loved when Judith was a baby, but we've had baby Judith for a very long time.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that she's evolved into a, you know, her own mindset. And I just love using the term that she's her father and brother's legacy.
Yes.
You know,
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
She totally is.
It's adorable. So.
And because I miss Rick and Carl.
Yeah. She's wearing the hat.
They were my favorite characters.
They were your favorite characters?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I miss Rick too.
Yeah.
He was awesome. He did such a good job, you know, leading the show, and you know, there were just so many relationships built up, you know, upon him, and just the leadership role. He did such an amazing job, even when he felt like he didn't want to be leader.
Right. That's what I was going to say. And sometimes he didn't make the best decisions or decisions that everybody wanted, but I'm always Team Rick, just because if he doesn't make a good decision, it's not based on him being evil or bad or anything like that. It's just based on trying to take care of his family or his friends.
Yeah. I think he went in crossroads when they got to Alexandria, and then he was feuding with Pete.
Oh yeah.
And then Morgan came, and you know, just that whole time period was really difficult for him to adapt to that society, and like he felt that he had to wake everybody up. Look at this world, you people know nothing.
Yeah.
And so that seemed hard on him as leader. Remember how dirty he was when he got to Alexandria?
Yeah.
And his crazy beard.
Yeah, they did that on purpose. These guys have been out on the road and, you know, kind of like...
He just looks so fit. Like, I remember he put his hand on the wall when he was talking to Deanna. Yeah. And it left a dirt mark.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh.
But he cleaned up nice.
Yeah, he shaved up, and that was pretty cute. But then
he got his hair cut, put on that sheriff's outfit.
Yes, that clean jacket.
Yeah,
taking charge. Good.
So, why do you love The Walking Dead?
Well, I love The Walking Dead because there is a lot of change this season, and introducing the new characters and building up their personas with such great introductions, we are able to get to know new characters pretty easily as if they've always been a part of the show, and I really like that. They are memorable characters, and the actors are able to keep up with the script so well that it's totally believable.
Yeah.
Totally believable.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy with the way that the show is going, with the writers. the new actors. It just seems like they're so happy to be there. And I thought it was really interesting that Yumiko's character, or her, the actress, she admitted on The Talking Dead that she never even watched the show.
Oh, yes.
I was like,
I heard that.
my jaw was like on the floor and my tongue rolled out down the street. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So,
but she got caught up really quick.
She did. She's such a good asset. I like her character. So
yeah, they need to come to the Bay
Circle
Area
back.
here
Yeah.
and let's pick these two girls who work on this podcast. Yeah, let's put them
We
into
need to
our our show.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna.
that's our goal.
Yes, we
to
are.
get on The Walking Dead somehow.
That is our goal. And we are going to build up our followers, our community. And so if you are out there listening, share our podcast with your family, with your friends.
Yeah.
Message us, contact us, comment on us.
We're a community.
Yes.
Just Walking Dead fans.
We love it. So we want people like you.
Yeah.
Okay, Diana, let's talk about who the award goes to for our favorite character, quote, or moment.
My favorite character is Michonne.
Ooh.
She is phenomenal as a warrior and mother. And Denai Guerrera deserves an Emmy. Listen, Emmy people. Give it to her. You haven't given Walking Dead any credit, and they're
my
so
gosh.
good. And don't mess with Mama Bear because she will slice you up.
And dice you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with that.
Who is your favorite character, quote, or moment?
Well, my favorite quote in Scar was when Judith and Michonne were talking, and Judith told Michonne, her mom, "You're my mom. You chose to be because you love me and I love you."
Aww.
I love that.
I know.
You know
and
what?
They really do love each other, and it's really truly like mom and daughter. It's not.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I have to put that on a Mother's Day card for my mom.
Yeah, that's a good
She
one.
chose
Yeah.
me. I love it.
Yeah.
So, hey, Diana.
Yes, Brooke.
Question. What else are you currently watching on TV?
Well, I have all my reality shows that I
Yeah.
watch. I'm watching The Voice. And John Legend is a new judge this time, along with Kelly Clarkson and Adam Levine and Blake Shelton. So I just love it. It's one of my top reality shows that I love to watch. It's just a good competition. They have great chemistry. And of course, I'm watching Survivor, and it's 30-something season.
What?
It's crazy. I know, it's like 30-something. I don't even know what, but it's something.
That's crazy. How many episodes or seasons do they do in a year?
I think they do 2 a year.
seasons.
I think so.
Dang.
Yeah.
So 17 years about?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It
I
is
can't even
crazy.
believe that. Wow.
But it's good.
Yeah.
I still watch it.
You do? Yeah.
And I have others, but I want to talk about The Talking Dead quickly because on the episode with Ryan Hurst, again, we're going back to Rick because, yes, he's my favorite. But I loved hearing him talk about Andrew Lincoln, the person, and that how, even though he's off the show, he came back to the set 5 hours to check it out and told Ryan where to eat in town and teaches him backgammon. And then it was funny because Ryan says he's falling in love with him.
Ooh.
And I think Chris Hardwick said, yeah, what's not to, fall in love with? You just want to have like tea with him, It's just very cool. So I just really love it.
Sweet.
And then I'm continuing to watch This Is Us, the current season. And I know you're on the first season.
Yep.
And just keep watching it. It's been really interesting. And right now, of course, there's little plots happening with different people, but Randall and Beth, who are married, are having some marital issues, and it's
Wow, it surprises
hard
me.
because they're a good family and they really support each other. But right now, it's kind of like they each have their own career goals,
Oh, okay.
and it's which one is going to take priority right now because somebody has to, because their kids are also having some things happen that they need to be supported. So it's like, which one is going to help
Yeah.
the kids and which one is going to do the job.
Oh, it's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm married. You're married.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Ugh,
Yeah.
It's hard.
So, But other than that, the movies, I just watched Ben is Back. And this is a great movie. It's with Julia Roberts and Lucas Hedges giving us amazing performances. Story is about a mom trying to help her addict son while he is back from rehab. It is written and directed by Peter Hedges, who is Lucas's father. It's a really good script, and I would recommend it. And I had tears. There was one part in it that really... it all gets me, but that got me because she, doesn't want her son to die. So she takes him to a cemetery and tells him, pick out your grave. Where do you want to be buried?
Yeah.
And he's like trying to ignore her. She's all, no, where you want buried? Because this is where you're going to end up.
You know what? I might just want to like tie my own kid up, throw him in the basement, and then be like, I could just do it for you. Like, do you want me to just kill you now?
Yeah, I know.
No, but that sounds really chilling,
Yeah.
like having my, just going through that as a young person with that addiction and then having your parents, that seems really hard.
Yeah.
So hopefully that helped by, opening up the eyes and...
It's in their journey. You'll have to watch it.
Okay, I'm going to. Where do I watch
really
this?
Good. I actually rented it from Netflix.
Oh,
I'm thinking you might be able to stream it somehow. I also watched Triple Frontier, which is a Netflix movie with Ben Affleck, Charlie Hunnam, and Oscar Isaac. And this is an action thriller about these ex-special ops soldiers who come together to steal money from a drug lord in South America. And what is interesting is we not only see the heist, but the aftermath, which tests their loyalty and their morality as they fight for survival. And it's an intense film.
I love movies like that.
It's good. I recommend that.
Oh, man. But every heist movie, I feel like, is it really possible? Can you really get away with this?
Well, they are really not getting away with it. That's why,
right.
That's
also,
people are after them.
So it's a twist? Okay.
I don't know if it's a twist. It's just, feels somewhat realistic. It's like you do something and then people are after you.
Okay. I got to check it out. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah. So what TV shows and movies have you been currently watching?
Well, I am watching reality shows too, but I started This Is Us season 1 and I'm really loving that. I've heard so many reviews about it and I said, I need to start that. So I'm still watching that. I watched The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I watch that on my downtime when when I have no kids at home, so I can really get my gossip and drama and sass.
Yeah, I need that.
Yeah. And this season it's been having me rolling on the floor. Like Portia,
I love that.
She's hilarious. She's been so funny. She's pregnant now. She's got a man. She's happy. Everybody else, there's a new character. And she's also really funny too. So all these comments that these women are making this season just have me laughing. Like I love it. I'm always smiling.
Yeah, that's awesome.
On that reality show. And so I recommend that one. I also am watching the new season of Project Runway.
I am too.
And I just started it. And I think there's only a couple episodes so far.
Yes.
Well, unfortunately, Tim Gunn and Heidi Klum.
I know. I love them.
I didn't know
They're not
that.
on it right now. For anyone that hasn't watched it,
They've moved on to my son and I. We watched it together, and he's like, "Where's that dude?" I'm like, "Oh, Tim," because I have a Tim Gunn voice at home, and so he was asking about him, and we had to look it up. And I guess he's on a Netflix or Amazon show.
They're both supposed to go on a new show together, a new program or show.
Yeah, I believe it's Amazon. So
okay.
I'll have to find out exactly what that is and if it's going to be a fashion show or what is this about. So that is what I've watched this week as far as TV shows go. I also rented the movie A Star is Born and The Green Book. And let me tell you, A Star is Born, I thought this movie was really good. I knew what to expect once I realized that Bradley Cooper's character had an addiction problem. And that really saddened me. And actually, when he was taking a sip of a cocktail, I was like, I think he's going to kill himself.
Oh my gosh.
And I didn't know if he was going to actually inflict himself or if he was just going to die with organ failure or something like that. But I knew this character was going to die. This was an illness. He truly displayed that he had a problem. And, I just felt so bad for him. I loved his love interest, Lady Gaga's character. Mm-hmm. She was just this girl working at I think a restaurant maybe, or casino or something, right? And he just picked her up and gave her stardom, and she was amazing. She carried herself well.
Yeah.
She had that rock and roll lifestyle. I loved that she was just overwhelmed. That first time he brought her up on stage.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Well, that's crazy. It's like a dream come true, right?
And her dad. Her dad was like, I watched this like a couple thousand times already, on YouTube.
Yeah.
And she had gotten so many
I love
hits.
that relationship. I had forgotten about that, but I really liked that relationship between them too.
Yes.
I recommend you watching the Barbra Streisand, Chris Christopherson. I adore that.
I'm going to watch that. I mean, I was looking for it, and I guess it might have been on Netflix.
It was on Netflix at one time.
Yeah, I still need to watch that.
Yeah.
So thanks for recommending that. The Green Book was a beautiful movie. It was a classic movie, retro. I love the story. I adore the relationships. I understand why he had to make that trip and do what he needed to do for himself. I know you haven't seen that movie yet, so
No,
I don't
but I want to, and I'm
give
going
too
to.
much away.
Hopefully within the next 2 weeks I'll watch that. So it'll be on my list to do.
Oh, you know what? I still have it, actually. Maybe
Okay.
you could watch it tonight. I don't know, but maybe not. It's so good. Actually, I was told before I rented the movie that there's controversy. And I, do remember the Oscar controversy that was said by a director. And I wasn't happy with that comment or remark. So I had to see this movie for myself. I didn't want my mental judgment to change based on the other controversial comment that I was told about. So I just went in watching the movie. I loved it. I understand what people are saying about it. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me being an African American either. So, I'm going to leave that up to anyone's judgment, whoever believes in the relationship in this movie. So
Yeah.
I recommend it. It was motivating. It was funny. It was sad, honorable. It won, awards. So check it out, and, even get your family together.
Yeah.
It was great.
Well, that's our show. Thanks for tuning in. We are grateful you tuned in, and we hope something we said today resonated with you, gave you a chuckle, some happiness, some positivity, or inspiration. Please subscribe to our podcast and tell a friend. We would love more members of our TV club. Rate and review the podcast on iTunes and Stitcher. We need your feedback.
We will be uploading a new episode Tuesday, April 9th. Our next show will be on The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 15 and 16, the Season 9 finale! Woohoo! You can find our blog listed in our show notes. See you next time. Bye!